Hi everyone! It's been a whole 9 months since I last made a YouTube video. So I'm not going to bore people with the details, but I've had a lot going on in my personal life health-wise, and I just haven't been fit enough to be able to make YouTube videos, and I took a long social media break. So I decided in 2024 I was going to have a fresh start and restart my autism social media channels. So in today's video I'm going to be discussing what it's like going to the dentist when you have autism and my honest experiences. So a large part of this video focus is going to be my massive fear of the numbing injection and my very first root canal experience. So dental phobia runs in the family. My mum is massively dental phobic, and I never went to the dentist myself when I was a kid. And the very first time I went was when I was about 19. So over the years I tried looking after my teeth as best I can. So I would brush my teeth every day, and from the age of 19 onwards I would start going to the dentist annually for my yearly checkup. And every time I went for my checkups I would need fillings. So my safe food is chocolate, and I eat a lot of sugary foods, which is not a good combination. So in total, I have had roughly 15 fillings. So I have a massive phobia of being numbed at the dentist. So every filling that I've had in the past, all 15 fillings I've had without the numbing injection. So I've always decided to just put up with a small amount of pain rather than have my face and mouth numbed, which would just be absolute torture for me. I was absolutely adamant that I would go a whole lifetime without having my mouth numbed. So just the sheer thought of it was just so freaky and abnormal, and I just knew that I would hate the sensation. I think more than anything I would just hate having a numb tongue. So yeah, every time I went to the dentist I was like, please don't give me the numbing injection, I will just put up with any amount of pain. So as for my actual experience having the fillings without the numbing injection, it was just mostly mild pain. So it was kind of comparable to like biting into cold ice cream. So it was just mild, and it was definitely tolerable. Now, one thing I should say is because I used to go to the dentist yearly, they would catch the cavities early, so before they got too severe and too deep. So that is why whenever I would go and have fillings, they would always be like at the start of needing to be filled. So like it would only be like surface fillings, so I wouldn't feel much pain, and the pain that I would feel would only be like a small amount because he wouldn't be drilling deep onto the nerve, because yeah, as I said, I go yearly, and yeah, it was like the cavities were caught early. So yeah, that's why I never needed like the numbing injection, because I never really felt much pain from having these fillings. But then COVID came along and that changed everything. So of course, as everyone knows, in 2020 COVID hit and dentists suddenly just shut down mostly, except for in emergencies. So I would no longer receive dental checkup letters. So I never got a dental checkup letter in 3 years. And the very last time I went to the dentist was December 2020, and that was just in an emergency because I had raging toothache and I needed like a tooth to be sorted, because he puts like this stuff on this tooth, this coating, because I won't have the root canal done to get it fixed. So he's been doing that now for 7 years, and then once he puts the coating on, the toothache goes away. So yeah, that was like the very last time I went to the dentist prior to last year. Okay, so moving on to summer 2023, I suddenly noticed that one tooth on my top row was starting to go black, and I was starting to get a little bit concerned about it because I've never had a black tooth before. And I kind of figured it's because like it's been so long since I've been sent a dental checkup letter, and I just thought like maybe they've taken me off the books because of COVID. And yeah, so I was starting to become quite concerned. So I phoned the dentist up in the end because like I didn't want to leave this tooth too long before it got too severe. So I just phoned up in the end saying, like, look, I do need a dental checkup because I haven't had one in 3 years. And they said, okay, we'll book you in then for September. So my first dental checkup day in 3 years finally came round, and unfortunately I needed 5 fillings. So I didn't dread it too much because, like, in the past all my fillings haven't hurt really much at all. So yeah, the day finally came mid-October, and unfortunately it fell on the same day as my very first smear test, and that was very traumatizing. But I didn't want to cancel my dentist appointment purely because I was frightened of being thrown off the register, because I have cancelled in the past, and if you cancel twice they throw you off the books. So I just had to go, even though I was just in no fit state to have anything done. Anyway, I was having 2 fillings that day. So he made a start on the black tooth on my top row, and I thought, okay, cool, you know, it's not going to hurt that much like all my other fillings, because none of them have hurt before. So he started drilling, and then he started drilling deeper and deeper until he hit a nerve, and I literally screamed and almost flew off the chair. I was in excruciating pain. So then he was like, okay, no problem, we'll just let the nerve settle for a couple of days. I'll put a temporary filling in, and then you can come back to me in 2 days' time and we'll try again. So from that day onwards, I had raging toothache, which never really went away for 2 months. So yeah, the nerve never settled down. I never had a toothache in that tooth prior to him drilling on it. So yeah, which kind of sucked, but I knew like the tooth couldn't be left. So I went back in 2 days' time, and at that point I was absolutely terrified of going to the dentist. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, in absolute fear of having this tooth filled, because it hurt so much that day that I just knew that, you know, it just wasn't going to be as easy as all my other fillings. So I went back, I said, like, I am extremely anxious about this. Like, I keep having panic attacks because of the pain the other day. And I've still had, like, well, I say still had, I now have raging toothache since you've been working on this tooth, which I didn't have before. So he thought, right, okay, this isn't going to work out. I'm going to have to refer you to the dental hospital, and they see to people who have learning difficulties, who like struggle at the dentist. And he said they use all different techniques which will make it easier for you to have this filling done, which he can't offer at his dental practice. So I thought, all right, yeah, that's great then. Okay, cool. So I'll go with that then. So he referred me, and then it was just playing the waiting game. So then I went through 2 months of hell. At one stage, my temporary filling came out when I was eating a chocolate bar, and oh my god, I was in excruciating pain. I almost screamed out in pain when I was eating this chocolate bar on the bus. So I had to have an emergency appointment to have it refilled. And yeah, I still, even though it had a temporary filling in, I still had raging toothache, and I was living on ibuprofen for 2 months every day, because yeah, the pain just never went away. And then some nights I would just be lying in bed in so much pain, and for some reason toothache just seems to be much worse when you're lying down in bed. And I read that it's to do with the blood rushing to your head more when you're lying down, and the blood kind of like goes to your teeth easier when you're lying down. So yeah, that is why it's like toothache is worse at night. So then yeah, it's just waiting out for the dental hospital appointment, and in the end I decided to phone him up, you know, because I said, look, I am in so much pain, I'm living on ibuprofen, I have raging toothache 24/7. I was just wondering like when my appointment's going to be. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, we have a cancellation, would you like to come in like the start of December? I thought, oh yes, great. And then yeah, so when my dentist said that they use special techniques and that I didn't have to worry, I thought, oh great, you know, they're just going to put a little bit of numbing gel on the one tooth so my whole mouth isn't going to go numb, or they're going to use like a laser filling and everything was going to be okay and easy. And yeah, so I really got my hopes up. So the day finally came and I saw this young dentist, and I'm going to be honest with you that I took an instant dislike to her, and so did my mum also. She kind of had like an attitude problem, and yeah, I just took an instant dislike to her, and I thought, yeah, I am not comfortable with her doing any work on my teeth. So I went in saying that I refuse to have the numbing injection and that I have a massive fear of having my face and mouth numbed. So that is why I've been referred here for other options. I also explained that I will not have local or general anaesthetic. So for local anaesthetic being half put out, that would just again distort my brain, and I would not like that at all. And for general anaesthetic, again, it's just too risky, and I'm just really frightened that I might not wake up. So again, that wasn't an option for me. And lastly, I explained that I didn't want gas and air because, yeah, again, that distorts your brain, like with the local anaesthetic. And yeah, I don't like anything that distorts my functions, basically. So she said, well, what do you expect us to do then? What options do you want us to give you? And I said, well, I don't know, laser fillings or like a numbing gel on one tooth. And then she said, right, I'm going to go through the procedures anyway. I know you said that you don't want them done, but I'm going to list them off to you anyway. I said, well, okay, but I am not going to have them, you know. So I don't know why she was wasting her time just listing them off, but she went through them all anyway. And I was just like sat there like, you know, no, I'm not having any of those. And then she just said, well, go home and like think about your options. And she was just listing them off. I've already said to her that I will not have any of those options done. I won't have the numbing, I won't have the gas and air, and I won't have local or general anaesthetic. And all she kept saying was like, well, what do you expect us to do? What do you want us to do? So yeah, it wasn't a good experience at all, and I walked out. So at the time I had a lot of health concerns going on, and thankfully at that time my toothache went away for about 2 weeks. So I thought, oh great, like my tooth just resolved itself on its own and I'll just leave it for now, you know, it's all okay, the pain's gone. And yeah, so I just left it, and then suddenly on December the 22nd, as I was eating my last mouthful of egg on toast, my temporary filling came out and I literally screamed out in pain. The pain this time was the worst pain that I'd ever felt in my tooth, and I knew something terrible had happened to it. It wasn't like when the temporary filling came out before. This was something different. So I should say that I'm a one-sided eater. So I can only eat on my left side. I cannot eat on my right side because I have like a horrible mushy kind of sensation. And yeah, and when I swallow on my right side, it makes me feel really sick. So it's just not an option for me. But suddenly I could not eat on my left side on that tooth anymore. As soon as food hit that nerve, I would be screaming out in pain. The food would literally fall out of my mouth. It'd be that painful. So yeah, eating became a huge struggle over Christmas. So because it was December the 22nd, I couldn't get in to see a dentist because yeah, because of Christmas coming up. So I had to go the whole of Christmas in so much pain. I couldn't eat at all, so I had to live on soup. I had mashed potato for Christmas dinner, and then for a whole week after that I had to just live on soup, nothing else bar soup, because I couldn't eat on my right side at all, because yeah, because of the mushy horrible sensation. It'd make me feel really sick. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's an autism sensory thing, but yeah, eating on my right side wasn't an option, and I could no longer eat on my left side because of the pain. So then I had to make the ultimate decision. I either live with toothache for the rest of my life and live off soup forever, which I hate. I either lose the tooth, or I try and have the tooth saved, have my mouth and face numbed for the very first time, or I have gas and air or a local or general anaesthetic. And I knew that I had to choose one of those options, and I decided to choose the numbing injection. So the dental hospital fitted me in on December the 28th for an emergency appointment because I said that I literally cannot eat at all now. I'm living off soup, I'm losing a lot of weight, and I'm living on ibuprofen. So they decided to see me the following day, so I phoned up on the 27th as soon as they reopened. And yeah, so I thought, oh my God, like, I haven't had a chance to build up to this, but I knew that I was going to have the numbing injection. I had to psych myself up for this. I had no other option really. So yeah, thankfully they saw me quickly, and yeah. So the day finally came round. I asked to see someone different this time, and thankfully the lady that I saw was so much nicer than the last lady. So that was a good start. So yeah, I knew instantly that I was going to get on much better with her. And I nearly chickened out in the waiting room. Like, I was just so close to chickening out. I knew that I was going to have the numbing injection, and I just didn't think that I would be able to do it. I was just so frightened of having my face and mouth numbed that I just didn't think I'd be able to do it no matter what. So yeah, so I was called into the room, and yeah, I sat in the chair. They looked at my tooth. I explained the circumstances, and they said, well, you're going to need a root canal in this tooth. If you want to try and save this tooth now, this is your only option. You either live with toothache forever, it's not going away. You either wait for the tooth to fall out, which is ultimately what is going to happen if you leave it. And you will lose this tooth if you don't get it sorted today. They said if you want a chance of saving this tooth, you can have root canal treatment, and for that you will have to have your mouth numbed. And I'd already made the decision, you know. I had no choice. It was one of those life experiences where you have no choice in the matter, you know. Sometimes you have no choice. So I thought, well, yeah, I'm just going to have the numbing injection, you know. I'm just going to have to. I had no choice. So yeah, I asked a load of questions for 20 minutes or so, and she was so patient with me. So part of my autism is the fact that I ask a lot of questions. So if you ever do go to the dentist or the dental hospital, always ask all the questions that you want to ask. It is just so important. So that is like the main bit of advice that I can give you. So that is like the first thing. If you're concerned about anything, they will speak it through. They will speak through the whole procedure, or anything you're concerned about. Yeah, they will sort out for you. I explained that my main concern was having a numb tongue, and thankfully she said that because the numbing injection is going to be on the top, that my tongue definitely won't go numb. So that gave me a lot of reassurance. I think I could put up with anything by having a numb tongue. So yeah, so I went through with it. I asked for the numbing gel on the gum before she inserted the needle. So yeah, I didn't feel the needle go in. So if you're needle phobic and you ever have to have the numbing injection at the dentist, I will say that it does not hurt. You don't feel the needle go in at all. So that is hopefully some reassuring advice if you're needle phobic. So I don't mind needles, so it wasn't the fact of having the injection that frightened me, but I know a lot of people fear the injection more than the numbing. So I must say that you do not feel it if you have the numbing gel on your gum. So I had my upper lip numbed. So that was the injection went in my upper lip at the start. So then within about 5 minutes, the whole left side of my face started to feel numb. It was a really weird sensation. So the first thing I noticed was my lip, my top lip on that side went numb. Then my cheeks felt numb. Thankfully, it didn't affect my eyelid or my nose. She did say it might affect my nose. My whole mouth didn't feel numb inside at all. So yeah, my gums inside didn't feel numb. And it kind of felt like, I felt like a hamster in a way. I felt like I had like a really puffy cheek. And yeah, it was just so weird, you know. But I thought I was going to scream and cry as soon as like my face started to go numb. But I didn't, you know, I didn't. It wasn't as bad as I thought. And I can honestly say that, you know, if you've never had the numbing injection before and you're frightened of having it like I am, it's not as bad as what you think, honestly. So yeah, so she made a start with the root canal filling. So it was going to be over 2 appointments. So the first appointment she was going to like make a start drilling the hole, then she's going to put a temporary filling in, and then I have to come back once the nerves are settled and once the nerves have died with some medication she put on it to have the roots actually pulled out. So she started drilling, and I'm going to be totally honest. So I decided, like, when I made this video, that I was going to be completely honest with my root canal experience. I did feel a little bit of pain. I was quite shocked, to be honest, because like with the numbing injection I thought like you don't feel any pain at all, that you don't feel anything, but I did still feel a little bit of pain. It wasn't severe. It was kind of like when I have like a normal filling. It was just like a minor bit of pain. I was going like ow, you know, but it wasn't unbearable, you know. I could manage it all okay. So she started drilling deeper and deeper, and when she got really deep, it started to hurt a little bit more. And I said, you know, I can feel everything now. And she said, right, I'm going to give you a numbing injection inside your gum this time. So it was inside my gum on the top, and then that did help a bit again. And she said, look, if you weren't numb, I said, am I even numb? And she said, if you weren't numb, you would be in a lot more pain than this now. I wouldn't be able to do it at all. So yeah, it was just a slight bit of pain, nothing unbearable. So it was manageable. And then she said, right, I'm done, you know. So I'm gonna put this medicine, I don't know what it was, but she put this medication on it to kill the nerve. And then once, because it would be too like angry at the moment just to put it out. But yeah, even with the numbing. So she put this medicine on it to kill the nerve, put a temporary filling in, and then she said to come back in another month to finish it off. So I almost burst into tears when I got out of the chair. I was like, oh my God, I've finally done it. I've finally had the numbing injection and I've had a root canal treatment. It was just like my biggest life achievement ever, you know. It's so minor to other people, but to me it was such a huge achievement, and I just felt so happy afterwards. So the left side of my face stayed numb for roughly about 2 hours or so, and then it wore off. But I did have a weird sensation in my face for about 5 hours or so afterwards. So what it was that mostly stayed was if I pulled my nose to one side like that, it wouldn't go all the way. It was still kind of a little bit paralysed. I could pull my face on my right side all the way, but not my left side. I started to panic because I'm a bit of a hypochondriac, and I was like, oh my God, is there like nerve damage or something? Why can't I move my face over to one side? And then my lips still felt, no, my lip didn't feel weird, but it was kind of drooping. My lip was drooping a little bit up to about 5 hours, and I was like, oh my God, is this going to be permanent? You know, because this is why I didn't want to have it done, because I was worried, because I'm a hypochondriac, and I was worried like it's going to be permanent. But yeah, after 5 hours, my full face function returned. I wasn't numb, I could move everything, and all was good. So exactly 24 hours after having the injection, I woke up with an ever so slight drop in my hearing on my left side, which was the side I had the injection. So I must say that when I had the COVID vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, my second one, I have had 24/7 tinnitus in my left ear, the side I had the vaccine, ever since, and it never went away. So I think my body is just like super sensitive to vaccines and injections and stuff. So yeah, my hearing has dropped ever so slightly on my left side since that day, and it hasn't returned. So it's kind of like my ear feels just a little bit clogged up. So I've been putting olive oil eardrops down it to try and clear it, and that hasn't helped. So I am gonna have to see like a doctor ASAP to see like maybe I've got a little bit of earwax, or maybe my ears are a little bit inflamed. But it does coincide with the day that I had the day after I had the injection, and I am kind of a little bit worried about that. But yeah, it's just extremely rare, and there's been very few cases of hearing loss after having that. So I'm just hoping it's because I have a lot of problems with earwax and build up, and I'm just hoping it just coincides with that. So yeah, hopefully it'll be nothing. So when I've booked in to see an audiologist to have my hearing checked, and I'm gonna see a doctor to have him look down my ear as well and see if I need steroids to regain my hearing. Not that I've lost, literally it's just like a tiny bit, as I say. So yeah, so I'm going to end it there. So that is my dental history story. Yeah, another time I'm going to go into my braces experience, which was quite an experience, I must say. But yeah, hopefully this has like given you a true insight of what it's like getting a numbing injection and root canal and fillings without numbing when you have autism. That is just my truthful experience, and I really hope this helps people. So yeah, if you ever have fillings without injections, if they're surface fillings, they really don't hurt much. The numbing injection is fine. If you have like numbing on the gum, you don't feel a needle go in at all. The feeling returns to your face, and the root canal is slightly painful, but it's not. It's tolerable, you know. It's fine, you know. So I really hope that this has reassured you. If you're needing dental procedures done, and yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.